Hello and welcome to the Hunter's Quest podcast. This is your host, Hunter, and if you're listening to this podcast, you probably want to go over to YouTube and watch the video. I'm going to go through all my stuff here for Kodiak, and if you watch that, you can see everything I'm talking about, and you can find that my YouTube channel. There's a link in my link tree in my Instagram bio that'll bring you right to my my YouTube channel, and you can check out this video. So I'm just going to go through all my stuff for this upcoming hunt on Kodiak Island in August. Now, a couple disclaimers. First, this is not a pack-in style hunt. You know, a lot of my gear for my pack-in stuff is the same, so this is a good video for anybody watching, but this is going to be a drop camp hunt. We're going to get flown into a lake in the Alpine. So this is not my ultralight backpacking setup. As you can see, I got a lot of stuff here. I got a little more weight to play with. So this is not my ultralight backpacking. So I got lots of stuff here. But the other thing is, this is my second time to Alaska. So, but that being said, I don't have everything 100% perfectly dialed probably yet. So there's a few things that I'm not sure I'm gonna take which one yet. So I'm just being totally transparent with you guys. There's a couple things I haven't quite figured out yet, but I'll let you know what those things are when we get to them, and kind of help you make the best decision you can if you got a trip coming up to Alaska. There are a few things I learned in this last trip, so hopefully this will help you guys out. So I'll just go ahead and start here. I'll pull off this rifle here, and this is a Stealthy Hunter rifle case, or rifle cover, whatever they call it. It's pretty cool. It clips right onto your pack here if you want to use it that way, which was just convenient with all my other tripods and stuff I got going here. It's got a little pocket right here on the butt stock where I keep a boar snake and a little bag of oil wipes, and that you definitely want to make sure you have something to clear your boar if you need, and having those oil wipes in Alaska where it's wet is good thing to have. So my rifle, I got my Weatherby Backcountry in 6.5 Creedmoor. Love this rifle. Super light. I think it's around 6 pounds scoped. Running tally rings on it, and Swarovski Z5 5-25 scope. I got these Butler Creek scope covers, which you definitely want to have in Alaska or anywhere really. Keep your eyepieces clean. I got my snap cap in there right now. It's a great rifle. I got it last year and was able to get it zeroed in time to shoot a whitetail with it, and yeah, I love this rifle. So I'm just gonna pull out the bipod here so I can just set it up on the table. This is a Spartan bipod. This is the Javelin Light, super lightweight, carbon fiber. It's magnetic. I went ahead and got this little bag thing that you can connect it to your bino harness or whatever. To be honest, it does have a teeny bit of play in this magnetic connection right here. So, it's definitely not like a PRS setup, but it works well for what I'm doing. I got the high, there's like a mini, a standard, and a high version. I got the highest one. And it's just super lightweight, easy to use, pops off and on. But again, it's like I said, you're not shooting PRS matches with this thing. You can see there's a teeny bit of play in this magnet, and it works well for hunting, but just be aware of that. And that Swarovski, I think a lot of guys feel like Swarovski is like, unaffordable, and they do have some really expensive stuff, but it's quality stuff. And that scope is actually, I looked at Zeiss, I looked at Leupold, I looked at Night Force, and that's a Z5, and it's just got the BDC reticle on there. It's very lightweight, very clear, and it's actually less than the Leupold VX5 HD, I believe, a couple $100 less. So it's not crazy expensive. It's right there in line with the competition in that price range. So that is that. I guess I will just, since this is out, I'll go into here. This is my bino harness. I went with marsupial gear. I tried the Sitka one. I tried FHF gear. The FHF gear one is really cool and it's really nice. I did not like it because the way it opens, you have to open like this and the flap kind of like gets in your face and then it just flaps over. I really like the marsupial gear, how it pops open this way and it, you know, there's a magnet in there. I'll just slide this thing on real quick. I got the rangefinder case in there, or rangefinder pouch. I got this thing as well for extra batteries for my camera, or GoPro, or what's it called, Osmo Pocket 2. In here I also got a couple Allen keys for my scope, scope rings. These are for camera tripods and whatnot. Keep those in there. Oh, and this is my little, I'll get to this later, but this is for my glassing attachment for my binoculars. I'll keep that out. But wind checker. My binoculars, I got these Vortex Diamondback HD. They are, for the money, really good glass. I went with 12 by 50s for this one, since I'm gonna be using them on a tripod. I also have a pair of 8s, which I like them a lot for like whitetail stuff around here. But this is a really good set of glass for the money. Vortex Diamondback HD. And I got the Vortex little attachment on here that just goes right in onto your plate for glassing on a tripod. So it's pretty convenient. Again, I like how this thing just stays open. It's got clips here and then it just magnets back together. In here I got a couple of these Zeiss wipes. They're little disposable. And, you know, I don't like taking disposable stuff from the backcountry, so I really got to stay on top of, you know, not leaving any trash back there. But if you need it to wipe off your binoculars or your scope, they got alcohol. Keep a couple in there. My rangefinder, this is just an old Nikon Pro Staff 550. You know, I ordered a SIG Kilo 1600 to test it out, and you know, it had a little more magnification on it, and the optics were maybe a little better for like low light and stuff. But man, this thing is just as accurate, and in some cases actually worked better than that SIG. It's a bigger. It's not as new and fancy and cool, but I just returned the SIG because, you know, it worked fine. It's a nice rangefinder, but you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And so I'm trying to save money as well. Down here is where I keep my bipod, right in here. You can order these from Spartan as well. Oh, and probably won't keep, I don't know, I might keep that there, but this is an Argali Serac knife. This is an awesome knife. I did a podcast a while back with Brad Brooks from Argali. They got some really cool products, this being one of them. It's super lightweight, well balanced. It's made of this S35 VN steel, super hard, good quality steel, holds an edge really well. I used it during turkey season to break down a bird, so I haven't extensively used this on, you know, deer yet, but this thing is razor sharp and like super high quality steel, so I really think it's gonna be a great knife, and you can save I think it's 10% at Argali if you use my code. Please do, if you want to order a knife or some good game bags. HQ10 will save 10% at Argali, and it's really good stuff, and you know, you'll save some money. It helps me out as well. So if you get something from Argali, please use that code HQ10. So yeah, that's that setup. Marsupial gear, bino harness. I like that. I like it. Just throw this here. Okay, so bear defense. Gonna be on Kodiak. something a lot of guys talk about or are thinking about. This is one of those areas where I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna bring both holsters. This is a Razco. It fits under your bino harness like this, and it works really well. With all that stuff I got on already, it's a little cumbersome, especially with my pack on. And getting it in and out is not quite as easy as I'd like it to be. So, like I said, this is one of those areas where I haven't quite decided what I'm gonna do yet. I also have on here, on my EXO pack, this is a Black Point Tactical holster. They make great stuff, Black Point Tactical, for everyday carry and for this kind of thing. But I want to be able to have the option to have my sidearm even if I'm not carrying my pack. I have a feeling I'm probably going to be carrying my pack pretty much all the time, but I just haven't decided yet which holster I'm going to go with. But that being said, I got my my bear defense gun. Make sure she's unloaded. This is a Glock 20, 10 millimeter. I got a Streamlight TLR1 HL, super bright light. You know, it's amazing. And as far as ammo goes, I got these Buffalo Bore 220 grain. I can't remember what they called. I'll look it up and let you know. But Buffalo Bore 220 grain ammo. It's good for bear defense. And anyway, hopefully you don't have to use that, but something you want to have at least as a backup. So, and you know, Glock, you know, when I looked at bear defense guns, I was looking at different revolvers and different calibers. I went with a 10 millimeter because in the Glock platform, I feel like it's very easy and accurate to shoot, which I like. The big revolvers, I feel like, can be harder to control with the recoil. And I like the 10 millimeter round more just because of the energy and the flat trajectory versus a 45. And but the big thing here is, I mean, you know, you got a 15 round mag and one in the chamber. So versus 6 rounds with a revolver, I'll take more bullets, you know, in that situation. So it's another little, you know, must-have little thing for safety. Garmin Inreach. My partner Ned runs an Inreach Mini, which is great too. I just went with the full size one. Make sure that's somewhere and make sure you activate it before you go out. But for keeping in touch with folks back home, or for safety reasons, definitely want to have your Inreach handy. Let's see. This is not really very well organized, to be honest with you, because it doesn't really have to be, but I always bring a couple of contractor bags. They don't take up much room. They're a little heavy, but if you just take 1 or 2, if you get in a pinch, you need to throw your gear in there, especially in a place like Alaska where it gets wet. These are big enough my entire pack can fit in one of these things. If it's like a freak rainstorm just pops in, which happens in Alaska, and you can just throw your whole pack in there. Gear, you could put meat in there even if you have to. So it's just a kind of a versatile, easy, cheap thing to grab, is just a few contractor bags. I like to bring at least one of these kind of roll top dry bags too, because you end up keeping a lot of your gear, you know, outside your tent, especially if you're running a one-man tent on one of your backpack things. This was huge last year in Alaska because, you know, I had tons of stuff under the vestibule of my tent, but sometimes it would, you know, kind of be leaking out. So to stay organized and to keep stuff dry, I got this dry bag in here right now. I just have my water bladder. I got a Platypus 3-liter, which is really cool with this EXO pack. I got the EXO K3 4800. Just side note, I love this pack, and the customer service at EXO is amazing. They will definitely take care of you. I highly recommend EXO mountain gear for your pack. It's lightweight, awesome pack. Anyway, one of the cool features about it is it has a fully enclosed waterproof storage area for your water bladder. So I will at all times keep my clean water in here, and I'm gonna have to show you later, but basically anytime you get a chance, I will fill up these Sawyer squeeze bags with dirty water, And I have a Sawyer squeeze, which I will show you when I get to it. It's somewhere buried. But fill these guys up with dirty water and squeeze it right out into my bladder. And that's how I keep hydrated, keep this thing in my pack, and just sip off it as we go. And there's no shortage of water in Alaska, so that's one good thing. But you know, if you come across a good spring, just go ahead and fill up. And with EXO, you can throw them in that waterproof storage area. None of your other stuff's gonna get wet. And then when you get a chance, you can just filter it out. So get you a couple of these dry bags too, if you can. Pretty cheap. I will take, this is a bigger one. I have a smaller one. This is just a microfiber towel. I will take this year because we're gonna be right next to a lake. It'd be nice to be able to jump in. You know, it'll be August, so during the day it might get pretty, you know, fairly warm. I'm sure that water won't be warm, but hey, you know, if you want to jump in the lake, cool off, freshen up a little bit, a little towel. And again, I have another one that's about this big, which, you know, is better for backpacking. But since I got a little room to play with, I got the bigger one. Let's see here. On that point, being next to a lake, my buddy Ned, he's actually going to bring an extra fishing rod for me because I don't really have a lightweight freshwater rig, but just a little tackle box with some lures to catch some fish in the lake, hopefully. Something kind of unique about this trip, do a little fishing. This one, I brought it with me last year and I ended up leaving it in the truck when we hiked in. It's just a little kit with an extra knife and a saw in it, just a Gerber hand saw. This thing is very useful. Thing is about Alaska, a lot of places there's not going to be any trees, so it's also useful, I will say though, for, you know, got this more fine-toothed option for cleaning animals. You know, with a deer, if you're cleaning a deer, if you can use that fine-tooth saw to cut the sternum, to pull those guts out, that can be really helpful, or cut off ribs. So that I'm not sure. It's gonna come down to weight if I'm gonna take this or not, but if you can, and on, you know, whitetail trips and stuff like that, or in places where you might need a saw, this is a great little Gerber hand saw. I recommend it, just to take in with you, but we'll see if I have room for that or not, honestly. Moving on here, for my sleep system, I got a Thermarest Neo Air. It's a great little pad. It's warm. As you can see, it's small. Inside of here, I actually also have a inflatable pillow, which I highly recommend. I mean, if you got something else you can use as a pillow, that's fine. I need to kind of have my head on something, and I have to put something between my legs usually because I'm a side sleeper, and you know, it's a little extra space, a little extra weight, but you got to be able to sleep and recover on these trips. If you can't sleep comfortably, you're going to be miserable, and it's going to mess up the rest of your hunt. So this is a great little pad, Thermarest Neo Air. It's definitely a good investment. And I use this on my ultralight trips as well, but it's just so good. I'm just going to use it on this trip too. Get a little Z seat as a camp chair or glassing pad or whatever. Super light, comfortable. Recommend one of those. Thermarest Z seat. Let's see what we got here. Extra 550 cord. I'm probably not gonna take this whole thing, but I just got it in here. It's just always good to have extra 550 for tying up meat or making a makeshift shelter. You can make a tourniquet with it. I mean, whatever, you know, it's just good to have some extra cordage. As we're talking about, so another area, so I'll just show you, this is the tent I took last year to Alaska when we were packing in. So this is my like ultralight backpacking setup tent. It's a Big Agnes copper spur HVUL, which just means high volume, ultralight. It's a great tent. I loved it. It kept me comfortable, completely dry. We had a lot of rain while we were up there last year. Or not a lot, but we had significant rain. I mean, it's Alaska, it always rains. Anyway, it kept me bone dry, Had nice big vestibule on it. It kept all my gear under. My buddy Ned had a Nemo and a Nemo Hornet. It's a great tent too. And it's a little lighter than this one, but he didn't have that vestibule, and that was something that really was huge. It's just being able to store your gear and your boots under that thing, and just made life a lot easier. So I definitely recommend this tent. It's not too expensive. Big Agnes copper spur. This trip though, since we got a little more room and weight allowance, I'm probably gonna bring this bad boy. They don't make this tent anymore. It's nothing special, honestly. It's just a Marmot. It's called a Catalyst 2P, just a dome style 3-season 2-person tent. Like I said, it's nothing special, but it's a nice tent. It'll keep you dry. I would love to have like a Hilleberg or something like that, or you know, some really rock solid shelter for Alaska. To be honest, I would love to have one of those. I just don't have the budget for it this year. You know, I've prioritized a couple other things, and not that you shouldn't prioritize shelter, you should, but I've just decided for me, this is good enough. It's gonna do the job. Like I said, if money was no object, I'd probably grab a Hilleberg or some other kind of rock solid tent, but this is gonna be good enough for this trip, Lord willing. So, and you know, since we're gonna be up there for a while, and you know, the weather can be, you know, nasty on Kodiak, and weight and space is not such an issue, I decided to go with the 2-man, even though I'm gonna be staying there alone, just to have some room for extra gear inside the tent, or getting dressed, or you know, if we gotta spend a little time in the tent, you know, it's just nice to have a little extra room. So, and that thing's a decent tent, so I'm pretty sure I'm gonna bring that. If weight becomes an issue, I'll switch to the 1-man, no problem. I still love that tent too. So here's an area where you can go down a rabbit hole and spend hundreds of dollars, but probably don't need to. This is just a little tarp. This is just a $20 little, I think it's called Red Camp tarp. I got it on Amazon, 20 bucks. You definitely want to have a tarp of some kind. Last year, since I was using my 1-man tent, I actually used the footprint for my 2-person tent as a backup tarp. But you know, if you want to, if you need a makeshift shelter, or you want to put it on the ground to lay your meat out, or you know, make a little shelter for glassing, or cover your gear, you know, backup rain fly, whatever. Definitely want to bring an extra tarp. So this is just a little extra tarp I have. Again, 20 bucks on Amazon, definitely worth it. This is my sleeping bag. So last year I borrowed a sleeping bag. When we got up there, we realized it might not be warm enough. So even for in August in Alaska, I recommend a 15-degree bag. So this is just an Alps mountaineering bag, and it looks kind of big, but you can actually cinch it down with these little straps, and it'll get down to, you know, probably the size of like a volleyball or something. So it cinches down pretty good. Again, like I said, it might sound a little overkill to have a 15-degree bag in August, but it's Alaska, and you know, it got down to the 30s a couple nights last year, and it was definitely nice. My buddy, he was a little cold a couple nights. I was nice and toasty in this thing. So, and that was like $100. I picked it up in Fairbanks. It was on sale. Alps Mountaineering. Good little sleeping bag. So these things, I took them with me last year, but they stayed in the truck when we hiked in because they're a little heavy, and I just didn't think we'd be needing them. And I was right, we didn't need them. But these are Hodgman. They're just some over boot waders, and you know, they slide on over top of your boots and everything. If you need to do a quick stream crossing, you know, like I said, they're 20 bucks. So it is what it is. They're not extreme hardcore. Like I wouldn't hike through a bunch of alders with them, or like expect to get like hundreds of stream crossings. But they're, like I said, they're 20 bucks. So, you know, they might save you at a stream crossing. They're super easy. I don't like taking my boots off, my Gators and all that junk. And so just having these, if you can, if you got room, I'd recommend them for stream crossings. Or, you know, if you're getting flown in like we are to a lake, you got to get off that plane into the lake to get to shore. And if you don't want to take your pants off, you need something like this. So these are Hodgman. You can get them online, or I think maybe even at Walmart, over boot waders. They did come in handy one time last year in Alaska. And this year with some extra weight, I'm probably definitely going to take these, or I am going to take this. This is just a quick and easy, slicker rifle cover for, you know, quick rainstorms that move through. I keep all my rain gear accessible, like in the brain of my pack, because in Alaska, you know, rainstorms will just roll through. And so, you know, if you need to, you can just whip this bad boy out, throw it over your rifle, keep everything nice and dry. So grab one of those. All right, moving right along here. So this is again Argali. You know, last year I used some cheap game bags, just the cheesecloth ones, and not only do they rip very easily, they take up a ton of room, and it's kind of a throwaway product. If you heard the podcast I did with Brad Brooks from Argali, he talks a lot about these, and they are really good quality game bags. This is the large mob pack or MOB pack, whatever. Really high quality material. They have 550, or you know, this nice cordage that you can actually hang your meat from. Reflective material on there, and pretty lightweight. Let's see, this thing will fit, you know, a whole elk or a whole caribou, probably a couple deer, and my scale is saying 15.3 ounces, including the stuff sack. So, and you can see just how small that is. I mean, it takes up hardly any room. So you definitely want to invest in some quality game bags. So, and again, at Argali, use the code HQ5, or no, HQ10, I'm sorry, save 10% at Argali. It helps me out, and you'll save 10%. Get you some game bags and a knife, that code HQ10. And I'll put all these codes and stuff in the descriptions, but almost done with this bag here. So this is just a little bag that's got some, I got this headlamp in here. It's a black diamond. Let's see, which one is this? This is the Actic, I guess it's called. Headlamp, I don't remember how many lumens it is. The thing is, in Alaska in August, you really don't need a headlamp. I brought one last year. I did not turn it on once. Something just feels weird about not bringing some sort of headlamp on a hunting trip though, so I'll probably bring it again. You never know. So I'm just gonna bring that. But here I got all my extra, I got some stormproof matches and all my extra batteries. So I got an extra battery for my headlamp, an extra battery for my weapon light on my bear gun, and a couple other extra batteries for random stuff. So make sure, you know, before you go, you change out all your batteries on your stuff, and have a backup if you think you might need it. All right. Next, I got this little bag, and this is like my, I guess you call it toiletry bag or whatever. I think Brian Call from Gritty calls it his poop kit, which I kind of like that, so I'll just call it, this is my poop kit. So, you know, got some baby wipes. Make sure you get the biodegradable ones. Also, you know, you can pack them out. It's kind of gross, so I usually dig a hole and get the biodegradable ones, because you don't want to leave stuff in there. You know, chapstick. Oh man, I did not bring this to Alaska last year. You need to bring you some chapstick, because it is windy up there. You're outside all day, every day. You need chapstick. I hate wearing chapstick. I never wear chapstick, but when you're back there, you need chapstick. So I ended up like using my friend Ned, my hunting partner. I would just like go grab some chapstick off his thing every day, and like anyway, bring some chapstick. Toothbrush. I bring this little for Alaska early season. This is just a little, you know, usually it's windy enough where the bugs aren't too bad, the mosquitoes, but you know, I have this little just mosquito net, and dude, like sometimes if the wind dies and they're just driving you nuts, this thing just keeps them off your face, and you don't gotta spray a bunch of chemicals on you, and it's just nice not to have them, like, cause I mean, a couple times last year the wind died down and they would just be in your eyes and your nose and just driving you nuts. So this thing weighs nothing and it's tiny, so I just throw this in here. It's a little mosquito net. So you can grab one. This is made from, it says Insect Shield head net. I think I got it at REI or something, but I would bring one of those. Of course you want you know, you got your ibuprofen in here, Tylenol, whatever you like. Maybe some melatonin if you need help sleeping. I usually sleep like a baby in the backcountry anyway, just because I'm beat. A little Neosporin, some bandages. I had this stuff too. What's it called? It just says stops bleeding. It's like this, I don't know if it's powder. Yeah, it's a powder. And you know, if you get a really bad cut back there or something, you just dump this powder in there and it stops the bleeding. I got a couple of those for emergencies. Some big Band-Aids, you know, Imodium. You definitely want some Imodium. You don't want to get diarrhea back there, and you want to have that just in case. So the main ones I take are just like some basic pain reliever, some Imodium, and some stuff to stop, you know, bleeding. Another thing, this is a big one I learned, Leuko tape. You know, I don't know if I told you guys much about it, but last year, just because of my ignorance of footwear, I was wearing boots that were way too big and way too stiff, and I ended up getting really bad blisters. So I do not want that to happen again. I did some research this year, and I'll talk about footwear here in a second, but this stuff's amazing. Leuko tape, it can go on your skin and it'll stay on there, keep the blisters off. Just as a backup too, I got a tiny little bottle of tick and insect repellent. This is 100% DEET. So a few sprays of this goes a long way. I used it a couple times last year. Like I said, sometimes the wind just dies down up there and the mosquitoes can be pretty bad. So just have that if you, just as a backup and the head net, and you should be good to go. Let's see what else we got here. For me, I don't know about you guys, this is worth the extra weight. BJP, Bible Journal Pen. You know, I don't know where you stand. You might think this is corny or weird or whatever. I don't care. This is just a tiny little Bible. It's got Psalms and Proverbs in the New Testament. A little tiny moleskin journal and a pen. You know, sometimes you get downtime. Sometimes you're stuck in your tent. Sometimes you get a little homesick. You guys know faith and spiritual development is a big deal for me. So this is worth the, let's see what we got. That's 6.5 ounces, and it's worth it for me to be able to jot down my thoughts. You know, you're gonna have some downtime. So I like to feed myself on the word and keep my spiritual disciplines going if I can. And, you know, like I said it before, a couple times I got a little homesick last year or whatever, and just being able to dig in here, for me, it helps. It helped me. So I take my Bible journal pen with me on all my backcountry trips. I'll get into clothing later, but this is just like an Under Armour shirt, but I always bring a white one when I go to Alaska because, believe it or not, you can actually use this thing to flag for caribou. If you've heard about that, they're very inquisitive animals, and sometimes the white will make them curious that maybe there's another caribou in the area, and they'll come check it out. It actually sort of worked for us on this last trip. We were on a stalk, and if you heard the podcast, you heard the story about we couldn't tell if it was a male or female, so we didn't pull the trigger, but we were flagging a little bit, and it actually did help him kind of stick around long enough so we could get into rifle range. I got a pair of sunglasses in here. It's kind of a personal decision where you want them or not, but good pair of polarized sunglasses. If it's bright, can be nice to have, especially if you're used to wearing them. As far as food goes, I'll probably do another video just about food because I've gotten really into preparing some of my own meals this year. And you can buy these like BPA-free resealable Mylar bags on Amazon, super cheap. I got a dehydrator, and I've just been experimenting with different protein bars and breakfasts, and you don't have to buy all your meals, and you don't have to buy like garbage stuff. Like you can, especially if you're new. Again, I think I'll do a podcast about this, or maybe another video. I've developed some really cool recipes. You know, if that's something you guys are interested in, maybe send me a message and let me know, or write down here in the comments if you'd like to hear more about my food stuff, because I've come up with a couple really good, tasty, high protein, high fat, high carb, easy to make backpacking meals that you can make at home. And also I'll be I'll be eating some Heather's Choice meals this year as well. You know, they're dehydrated, but she just uses amazing high quality ingredients. A lot of her ingredients are actually in Alaska. I'm actually gonna go visit the shop when I get up there for a day, and Heather's awesome. I'm about to release a podcast with her in a few weeks. But definitely look at Heather's Choice meals. They're healthy, good ingredients. You know, they're designed for recovery. And I tried the sockeye salmon chowder. It's delicious. They also have these little snacks called packaroons. If you care about what you put in your body, you want to fuel your body right in the backcountry, you don't want to put in a bunch of garbage, definitely check out Heather's Choice and use the code Hunter's Quest. You'll save 20% on your first order, and it'll help me out big time. So it's a great company, and like I said, save yourself some money and you'll help out the show by using that code Hunter's Quest. So, and let me know in the comments, guys. Let me know if food is something you want to dive into a little deeper. I'd be happy to share with you some of the recipes I've kind of come up with through this process. Of course, I got my Nalgene here, and you know, I grabbed some Gorilla Tape and just throw on as much as I can onto my Nalgene just to have a little supply of Gorilla Tape there for that. So yeah. Okay, so moving on here, finally getting to the pack. Again, this is EXO Mountain Gear 4800 K3 frame. I love this pack. It's got your stretchy, you know, pockets on the side. These big pockets run the length of the sides on both sides. Another stretchy compartment here. You can enter the main part of the bag like this. You know, also it's got your lid, and a feature that I like that not a lot of packs have is this roll top. So I mean, you can stuff this thing, you know, full of gear all the way to the top if you need to. So it really holds a lot of stuff in here, and it holds the weight well on you. And again, the guys at EXO are super helpful with customer service. That will help you get your pack fit right for you. And you know, coming from the flatland, I didn't know a whole lot about pack fit and the importance of it, but it's just huge, and those guys will help you out a lot. So they're really nice guys, and I definitely recommend EXO Mountain Gear for a pack. And so yeah, we'll start here outside with all this stuff here. So I have, these are Leki carbon trekking poles. Some guys don't like them. My hunting partner Ned don't like them. I found them to be very valuable tools last year in Alaska. Saved me from busting my butt several times. I've definitely found them worth the wait, and you know, you can just help distribute some of that weight on those longer hikes and uphills and downhills. You know, I put some more Gorilla Tape right here on these guys just to have some extra of that. So I recommend trekking poles, but it's kind of a personal thing, I guess. Coming over here, this is my tripod, one of my tripods. So I have been working with a company called Two Vets Sporting Goods. They make these carbon fiber tripods. Dan over at Two Vets is an awesome guy. He is a veteran. Obviously, it's a U.S. company, small business, veteran owned and operated, and Dan's a really cool guy. He's one of the first companies that started working with me, actually. And so I'm about to release a podcast with him as well. But this is actually a brand new tripod that is not out yet. He did tell me I could mention it in this video because it should be available in the next 2 to 3 weeks. I think it's the end of May right now. It's the last week of May. So hopefully by like early to mid-June, you'll be able to get one of these. And the whole thing is 2 pounds, like I think 2 pounds, 3 ounces. And which is the same as his other tripod, which I have right here. This is one that is currently out. It's called the No Name Junior. It's his like ultralight tripod offering. It's again, I think it's 2 pounds, 3 ounces, super light, carbon fiber, great construction. But the problem, and I told Dan this when I first got this tripod, I was like, man, I love the tripod, and it's actually like the perfect height if you want to shoot from a seated position or kneeling, but it didn't have the it doesn't have the integrated like adjustable center column like this does right here. And I told Dan that, and I told him, for the hunting market, to be competitive, you want to have that. And he listened. A couple weeks later, I got this in the mail. This is actually a prototype, and we worked together on developing it, and I gave him some feedback on it. And actually, he let me name the tripod. So this tripod will be called the Ruck. He wanted to have kind of a military-esque name to it, so we came up with calling it the Ruck. And so the Ruck tripod will be available in a couple weeks. And this one, the No Name Junior, is available now. They're ultra lightweight, very tough, great tripods. And if you use HQ5, you will save 5%. And it helps me out. So please look at Two Vet Sporting Goods if you need a good tripod and you want to support a veteran-owned small business and get a quality tripod. It's a must for me. Use that code HQ5. So this, I have a Triclops setup on here, which is great for using this as a rest for shooting. I need all the help I can get when it comes to shooting. So this thing is great if you are not able to get prone. Two Vets also has some great ball heads, and you can see you can get this thing set up really rock solid. This Triclops head, and that'll hold your rifle there. You can hold there all day if you need it to. Both good companies. So I got that, and this other tripod, the new one, the Ruck. Same thing. I don't know how he was able to do it, but he was able to keep the weight the exact same, just over 2 pounds, but add this center column, which is just good for those micro adjustments you need to make, like, when a shot's presenting itself, you don't want to be messing with these legs and stuff. You want to be able to quickly make those little micro adjustments, and so this thing allows you to do that. And this is a Serac VA5 head. It is a good head for glassing, for shooting. You can, and this, this is something that took a little brain power on my end. But, between glassing and shooting and for me filming, tripods are huge, right? So, and your plate is a big deal. So I wanted something that was going to be extremely versatile. The tripod I'm using right now to film is a Benro, and it has an amazing fluid head, which is great for professional quality video, but it's a little heavier, and the plates are about this big. This is the Serac head. It's more like a Swiss Arca head, and I needed something that I could seamlessly, I don't want to be messing with having to change plates and stuff. So this system, I can use this same with this plate. I can use the same plate with all my different accessories. So I can put my Triclops on either one of these heads. I can put my I got an extra plate for my glassing adapter, so I can run my binos on here. Also, I have this, I was going to get to this later, but this Peak Design camera clip on my pack, and that allows me to keep my camera here handy when I'm going, but also I can take my camera off if I need to, and it's the size is such that I can throw it on this tripod or that tripod. So out of simplicity, I was able to figure out a way to have the same plate and adapter and all my stuff, so I can run my rifle, my optics, my camera, both cameras, my triclops, all on one plate system, which is definitely what you want. You don't want to be worried about which tripod goes with which accessories. It's a pain, and yeah, you don't want to mess with that. So get a standardized system for all your stuff, and definitely check out Tuvet Sporting Goods for your tripods, high quality stuff for PRS and for backcountry hunting, and use that code HQ5. All right, so moving on from the tripods. Inside my pack, so, I like having this big zipper right here that can get it right inside my pack easily. So coming in here, this is my like kitchen set. If this was a backpacking hunt, I would not take all this stuff. I would just take my titanium cup only, probably, but since, like I said, we have some more weight and more space to play with, I'm gonna bring this guy. Plus, hopefully we'll be having some meat to cook back there to enjoy a little bit while we're hunting. So this is just the MSR. I don't know what it's called. It's just a cooking set. I've had it forever. But again, this is my water filtration system. It's a Sawyer Squeeze Mini. It works great. It's tiny. And yeah, I just loved it. It's super simple. You just screw this thing onto your... You can even use, it goes on a standard screw cap, so even like a standard like smart water bottle or something, or those your dirty water bags that you can get from Sawyer Squeeze. Fill this up with dirty water, screw this guy on, and then just squeeze them down into your clean water bladder, and you're good to go. And then it comes with a little syringe thing to backwash it, when you need to clean this thing out. But just got some backup fire starter things here. This does not have any oil in it yet, but this is just a little, I'm just gonna bring a little bit of olive oil back there with me just for cooking. Just something to have where you can throw it in some of your backcountry meals just for the added calories. This is a little MSR salt and pepper shaker I got. And I got one side with salt and then one side's equal parts pepper and garlic powder. So just some seasoning, like I said. Hopefully, Lord willing, we'll be cooking some meat back there. I got an extra lighter, ferro rod, and my little grabber, here from my pot thing here. But yeah, so, oh, and then, last but not least, I got this Summit Spork, and, make sure you get the long one. I used a short one for years, and if you're digging down the bottom of it, just get yourself a long one. Much easier. This is what I would take if I was just going on a backpack trip only. This is what I took last year to Alaska. It was all I needed. It's just this titanium Toaks cup. It's got a little handle built in. I like to throw a couple of these Starbucks instant mochas in here. Just a nice little treat to have sometimes. Whatever you like for coffee. Got another lighter just for redundancy. As far as the stove, I like this just super basic, simple MSR pocket rocket. Like I said, just super simple, tiny, lightweight, does the job. I got a couple other supplements in here, vitamins, my ear protection. This is, I'll basically mix Wilderness Athlete Hydrate and Recover with some greens supplement. And drink that. It tastes really good, and get those micronutrients in you when you're back there. Got to fuel your body right. So anyway, that's a Toaks titanium cup. Everything kind of fits in there, and I'll clean that up later. But so yeah, just keeping that stuff all organized and all together, and having some redundancies. Several different lighters in different spots and stuff like that, and just to be safe. All right, so heading into the pack here. This year, I am running Scree Gear. They are based out of Utah, and they've been a great company to work with. The quality of everything I've seen is right on point with like a Kuiu or a Sitka, but it's just a little bit more affordable stuff. And so yeah, they've been great to work with. And if you want to try out Scree Gear, go over and you can use the code Hunter's Quest and save 20% on your first order, which is a really nice deal, and it'll help me out. And so yeah, go over there, grab some new gear, try them out, screegear.com. Use that code Hunter's Quest. This is their hard Scrabble jacket. It's kind of their soft shell outer layer jacket. It's got a Teflon water resistant coating on it. It's got pit zips. You know, I think there's 2 outer pockets on each side, an arm sleeve pocket and an inner pocket. So plenty of storage in there. It's a really nice jacket. I use it out during turkey season. It's good stuff. Another piece that you definitely want for Alaska is a good set of Gators. That was something new to me as a Eastern guy, but definitely came in handy when walked through some of that wet brush and whatnot. This is their hard Scrabble Gators. And they just came out with a new camo pattern called Solace, which I think is really good for late season. But I really like for Alaska and early season when stuff is still really green, which it stays green in my area into November even. I really like this pattern called Summit, which incorporates a lot of green into it, as you can see. So I'm going to be bringing their hard Scrabble jacket, hard Scrabble Gators. This is their Unita early season pants in case it's a little warmer. They're really light, breathable material. All their pants too have these zippable vents, which let them breathe and air out really well. Got all the right pockets in all the right places. So the Unita early season. They also have, you know, a good lineup of Merino wool base layers. So I will take, you know, this is just a Merino wool short sleeve shirt. Put that on next to skin. And then this is, I think it's called like I can't remember what the name is, but this is just their long sleeve Merino wool base layer. I'm also gonna get their hooded 300 Merino layer, but they didn't have that in stock in my size, but I think they're restocking soon. These are their hard Scrabble pants. Again, they got the water resistant coating. They're a little thicker than the early season pants. They got the you know, the zippable vents in them as well to keep you breathing, keep you a little cooler when you're running and gunning. This is I think they call it the Wasatch top. It's a quick drying synthetic long sleeve top that also is a really good base layer as well. So definitely check out Scree Gear, guys. They've been awesome to work with, and I definitely recommend their stuff. This is their Nebo rain pants and rain jacket, and as you can see, they fit into these little stuff sacks. They're very nice. I've tested these out in some hellacious downpours, and they definitely keep you dry. The pants have a full zip seam right here, so you can put these things off. You know, take them off. Put them on without taking your boots off, which is great for, you know, if something comes up. They're rated for like 24 hours of rain. Pretty lightweight. You know, I had the Sitka, I think Thunderhead gear last year. Great rain gear, but took up almost as much room, or maybe more, than my sleeping bag in my pack. Very heavy, and yeah, it was more durable, but for what I'm doing, this stuff is better than Nebo. Rain pants and jacket from Scree. This is the jacket. Again, it's just got pockets where you need them. Lightweight, quality make. I always get my rain gear a little big because I want to be able to layer this on top of puffies. So it's going to look a little big, but that's how I like it. I tested it out with a puffy layer under it. And it's a perfect fit. And the hood has got these you know, fully adjustable little guys on there, so you're getting really good coverage on your face, but it's not like obstructing your view and like being super annoying. So I really like this jacket. It's lightweight, pretty breathable, packs down really good. That's the Nebo rain jacket and pants from Scree Gear. The last piece from Scree Gear that I really love, is their Tarmagen Jacket. This one I did get in the new Solace pattern because I found for puffies I like them more in the late season, and so I don't necessarily want all that green in the pattern. As you see, they pack down all the way into this tiny little stuff sack, but super warm. I think it's 850 filled down, really lightweight, comfortable, just high quality. And even in August in Alaska, I'm telling you guys, you want to bring a puffy layer. I'm going to bring puffy pants as well. I don't have them right now, but you definitely want puffies, even in August in Alaska. I wore them a bunch of times on my last trip. It's just nice to be able to throw them on. You don't got to worry about long johns and stuff. You can throw them on in the morning or in the evening, and then, you know, stuff starts to warm up. You just cram them in your bag, and really comfortable. And I actually ended up loaning Ned, my partner, my pants a couple times because his sleeping bag was so bad. But definitely invest in some puffies. And again, make sure that you can layer under them, and, you know, get your rain gear big enough that you can layer on top of your puffies. But definitely invest in some puffies, and you won't regret it. I got Merino base layer pants here. Scree makes these as well. These are actually Kuiu ones because these are just what I got last year. And Scree just came out with their fully zippable Merino base layer pants. So I don't have those, but they make them. So again, you can take these things off without taking your pants off and your boots, which is just amazing. I love that feature. As far as socks go, these are some Merino socks, Merino wool socks. These are farm to feet socks. I also have a pair of Darn Tough. They both perform really well. You definitely want to test them out though and kind of get used to them. They do rub your skin different than a cotton sock will. So when you're getting those training hikes in and breaking your boots in, wear the socks you're going to be wearing, just to get your feet used to them and stuff. I'll probably wear these on the hike in, just around town in Alaska when we get there, and then wear them, you know, on the first day and around camp. These are Prana Stretch Zion pants. You know, I picked these up from the guys at Exo Mountain Gear. They always talk about them. But yeah, just super comfortable, good pants. They got a built-in belt. So those are called Prana Stretch Zion pants. I'm wearing some right now too, actually. I wear them all the time. You know, as far as underwear goes, I wear the, you know, synthetic compression stuff. I haven't tried Merino underwear yet, but I've heard good things. But you know, also I bring a cotton t-shirt and, you know, a pair of cotton, just comfortable boxer briefs, because, you know, whether I leave them back in the truck or, you know, in this case, I might leave them in camp and sleep in them or something. It's just nice when you've been wearing, you know, merino wool or synthetic stuff and, you know, damp and for days on end. It's just nice for me. It just feels good to put some cotton on at the end of the day. So whether it's back at the truck or at camp or whatever, if you got room, maybe bring some cotton, some dry cotton to put on. You know, I got my belt here from Scree, and I decided I wasn't gonna go in depth about camera gear on this video, this podcast. You know, a lot of guys aren't gonna be filming, but you know, that is its own whole thing. So if you guys are interested in that, let me know in the comments, and I can do another video just about camera gear. But this bag is just all extra batteries. Got a couple battery banks in here and chargers for, you know, if you need to charge your Inreach or your phone. You know, me, I got a ton of camera batteries, and I'll have more than this, but this is just a bunch of batteries and stuff like that, and extra chargers. And I'll keep that up here in the lid of my bag. Another thing I do want to mention, so we are shooting a load that we developed specifically for this trip with a 124 grain, I don't have any right now, but 124 grain hammer copper monolithic bullet. Me and my partner Ned have been developing that. But even if you're using hand loads or no matter what you're using, just a travel tip, if you're flying, you need to have your ammo in factory boxes. So, you know, you need a TSA approved rifle case with the locks on there, obviously, and your ammo needs to be in factory boxes. Whatever reason, that's just a rule. So that's just a travel tip for you on that. That's pretty much everything as far as clothing goes. Again, Scree Gear, I've been really impressed with the quality of it. skregear.com. Please use that code Hunter's Quest, save some money, and again, it helps me out. And the last thing I want to talk about, of course, is footwear. You've seen these boots up here. So, you know, I made the mistake last year of getting a boot without doing enough research. I got Crispy Guides, and they're a great boot. But I knew nothing about boots, and they were too big for me, which I didn't know, and just too stiff. They're like 2 pounds each, too heavy. And, you know, I did most of my, I did break them in, but I did most of my training in trail runners and stuff like that. And, I got blisters, and, it was just bad. They were so stiff. They changed the whole way I walked and everything. So this year I'm going the whole opposite direction. I'm getting pretty much as flexible of a boot as you can possibly get. And for drier hunts, like my Wyoming thing, I'm probably gonna even wear these, which is a Salomon Speed Cross 5. I love these things. I got them for trail running, but if you're in a drier type situation, a drier hunt, you know, they're just as good as anything, especially if you like a trail runner. But these, I'll start off here. So I do recommend, you know, if you're like me and you don't live anywhere near a place that sells quality hunting boots, you're gonna have to break out the credit card and just order a few in different sizes and try them. It's a little scary, I know, and it's kind of a pain in the butt, but footwear is so important. You gotta get the right size. And like, these are both crispy boots, but they're different sizes, but they fit me. So you really have to, like, I ordered this one and this one in like 2 or 3 different sizes each, until I really confirmed that these are definitely the right size for me. Another tip is you can go to a shoe store, even if they don't sell the boots you're looking for, get them to actually get someone who knows what they're doing to actually measure your foot and figure out where your arch lies. Like, for example, these on paper should not fit me, but they do. And these insoles that I got I had to get like 3 or 4 sizes too big of an insole and cut them down, because that's where the arch of my foot landed on the insole. And I wouldn't have known that if I hadn't got them, you know, measured by an actual person that knows what they're talking about a little bit. So anyway, these ones have been getting a lot of attention lately, and I can see why. These are the Crispy Laponias. They were probably the lightest and most flexible and most trail runnery type boot that Crispy made. You know, of course, they're Gore-Tex, but then this year they just came out with these ones. These are the Ativa Mid Gtxs. They are also Gore-Tex, and these are now even a little lighter than the Laponia, and a little more flexible. I'll see here what they weigh. So, and again, these ones run big. So these are a size 10.5. I usually wear an 11 or an 11.5, even 12 in some shoes, but these are 10.5. I don't wear 10.5 in anything. So if you're looking at these, especially, these run big. But this Ativa Mid, granted, I do have an insole in there, an aftermarket insole, but that's running 1 pound, 2 ounces. And this Crispy Laponia is 1 pound, 8 ounces. So again, the Ativa is gonna be a little lighter. And this is another area where I'm not quite sure which one I'm gonna take with me to Alaska. Yeah, I just haven't decided yet. This one is just, they're both really lightweight, really comfortable, really flexible. This one's just a little bit more boot, I feel like, a little bit more durable. But I love these. So, and that's the other thing too. You know, the plan was to only keep 1 pair of boots, but you know, I ordered a bunch to try both, and you know, I ended up, now I have 2 pairs of boots because I just liked them both so much, and they're a little different. So anyway, just be careful with that. But lastly, on footwear, you know, these kind of saved me last year actually because of my blister situation. But some guys like flip-flops or whatever. If you got the room and the space, you know, bring some camp shoes. Like these things, well, these things weigh, 8 ounces each, and these are the chunkier ones. Crocs don't hardly weigh anything, or you can get a really just cheap pair of grocery store flip-flops. Just something you can put on around camp that slips on and off easily, as lightweight, let your feet air out, and just give your feet a break. I definitely recommend bringing a camp shoe of some kind. So yeah, I think I hit everything. I know there's a lot of stuff. Like I said, you know, I got a little extra room and weight on this trip, so I kind of brought some more stuff. And you know, with the camera gear, it is a lot of stuff, but you know, don't go crazy. You know, invest where you can, when you can, build your system over time. You know, it's not worth going into debt over, but just get the best gear you can afford, and just build it over time. You can't get everything all at once. You can save a little money. Again, with at Two Vet Sporting Goods, HQ5, save 5%. At Argali, HQ10, you can save 10% on knives or game bags. With Heather's Choice, use the code Hunter's Quest. I think you get 15% off your first order. Scree Gear, code Hunter's Quest, 20% off your first order. And I didn't mention, but also this year, I am going to be running a base map on my phone, and you know, the ability, you know, whether you use Onyx or base map, whatever, the ability to download your offline maps and use those is just an unbelievable tool. I think most guys already know the value of that, so I'm not going to go into detail, but I did link up with guys at Base Map this year. You can use the code Hunter's Quest at their website and get 20% off your membership to Base Map. But I was really impressed with Base Map, the app. It's got some features on there that Onyx doesn't actually have, and it works great. So check out Base Map, give it a shot, and use that code Hunter's Quest and save 20%. I think that's it, guys. If I missed anything, I apologize. Let me know again in the comments if you want me to do a deep dive into the food or into the camera gear. But as far as that goes, I think I pretty much covered everything. So hope you guys were able to get something out of this and enjoy seeing all these awesome toys that I'm blessed with to be able to take into the backcountry, and hope you can get some value out of this. So thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and we'll see you on the next one.